Patty. Thanks for joining me today. I'm using the Snowfront stamp set to make this masculine birthday card. I love the scene. I used this a lot last year. It's in the annual catalog, and I made a lot of winter scenes with it. But I wanted to use this little dots and make it fall leaves and just kind of a cabin in the woods with the mountains behind in the fall. So it's a great card for a guy. On the inside, I just have Let's Celebrate You, and I have a bigger tree with some deer. This reminds me of my home in New York. I lived in a log home, and in the fall, I always had deer on my property, ate all my flowers, but they were pretty. Mountains in the background, the fall trees, so it really kind of hits home with me. The designer series paper I'm using is, it's really a Christmas one. It's the poinsettia one, and this is on sale for the month of October. So if you look through your designer series paper, there's always like a side that has a wood grain or kind of a plain grain, and I look through all of them and find just the right one. So this is the other side. I'll just show you real quick. And I love this side. I'll be using that for something. I love the pine cones, and this is the other side. So this is a great paper to get. There's a lot of poinsettias. I've used this one. I really like that piece. Here's some more. And I believe the poinsettias, the dies that come in the bundle with the stamps, will cut out some of these on the papers, so you don't even have to stamp them. And the poinsettias are beautiful. I know some people call it poinsettia. I call it poinsettia from where I'm from. So this paper is really pretty, and I love the grain look. So here we go. I'm using rich raspberry, blackberry bliss for the background. And I have it as a horizontal, but it opens from the side. So when you cut your cardstock, this would be the half piece that I cut. But if you have a piece like this, 8.5 by 11, you just cut it at 4.5, and then you score it at 5.5. Or sorry, you cut it at 4.25, and then you score it at 5.5. And you can get a top folding card or a side folding card. And I like the way these stand up. They stand up nice. Sometimes when you have them, they go like this when it's the top folding horizontal. I know that's a lot. I hope I'm not driving you too crazy here. So let's get started with our stamping. Let me get a scrap of paper. And I've already cut my piece of Whisper White, and I'm using the stitched labels dies, and I used the largest one, and I just ran a piece of cardstock through my my die cutting machine, die cut and emboss machine, right? And let me get my stamps and my inks. I'm using a lot of different inks here. I have my stamps already mounted, and the first thing I'll do is, let me get my right color here. Of course it's on the bottom. I'm using Sahara sand, and I'll do the mountains. So the mountains are this, and I want them very light. I want them just to look like they're in the background. So I'm going to stamp once, twice, and then I'll stamp, and I'm kind of going off because I want this high mountain here. So stamp, stamp, and I'm just going to go along, and they'll cover each other and get a little bit darker, and that's fine. So we have our mountain scene in the background. The next thing I'll do are my trees, and I'm using soft suede for this. And I want to do just this tree on the side here, so I'm going to do that first. You can mask it, cover it with a piece of Post-it note, but it's really not too bad to just kind of eye it. And I can see that there's only ink on that one tree. And I'll go off the paper, and then I'll do the full set, and I'm kind of going off to the side. I want to leave room for the house and the deer. And then I'll actually, I want to do my inside, so I'm doing, you know, a lot of the same things together here. So let's get, there's a larger tree, and I'll do that in soft suede as well. And I'll put that on my inside layer. These mountains look pretty, don't they? And I'll just go right over here. I'll go off the paper a little bit. And let's put this away. And then I want to get my green. I'm using Pear Pizzazz. And I'm just using this little stamp here, right here. And I'll just give myself a little bit of a ground here. So I'm going to just come right here and do it here. Just do it a couple of times. So that's my inside. And just, you can do it, you know, layers and overlap it. So it's kind of like hills here. Okay, so we have our green done. Moving right along, I'm going to do my house in the Blackberry Bliss. It's got to do a brown, but I wanted something, I don't know, to pop off a little bit more. So I'm going to just put this very close to this tree, because again, I want room for the deer. So there's the cabin just sitting in the corner there. And let's get the deer, and I'll do those in Sahara sand as well. And if you don't have, you know, the lighter and the darker browns, you can stamp the trees direct and then stamp the mountains by stamping off a couple of times. So you have some play with that. It's nice to be able to stamp on your scrap and get a layer of ink off and get different shades of the same color. Now we'll do the fun part. We'll do the leaves. And I guess this is supposed to be snow, but I'm using Mango Melody. You could use Daffodil Delight or Crushed Curry, but I wanted something a little bright. And I'll do 3 of the Mango Melody on each tree, or each set of trees. And I just thought this was so pretty. I love the fall. All right, and then I want to clean this off. We'll close this up. Oh, actually, let me do the inside before we do that, so we don't have to clean it too many times. So let me put this aside, and this one, I'll just stamp it around. No right or wrong here. And I wanted to get more of the yellow on so that the orange, which is Calypso Coral, is darker, and I didn't want to lose the kind of orange, the lighter orange, by having, you know, more of the Calypso Coral. So I tried to do the lighter one more often and just hit it here and there with the darker color. But isn't that pretty? And you could probably put them on the ground as if they were falling leaves. So we have that one done. And let's get these. So I'll only do maybe 2 of them here. And don't overthink it. Okay, so we have our leaves now. Let's do our sentiment. Let me get that strip. I keep lots of these strips around. These are just leftovers for when I cut my inside pieces. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. So you always have this little 1/2 inch strip left over. So let me ink this up. And I almost put the sentiment directly on here, up here, and I decided, I kind of played around with it. I decided to have it down at the bottom. So let me just line this up, and I'm doing the Blackberry Bliss, and we'll just come down here. Okay. I believe we have all our stamping. Oh, we have to do the inside sentiment. So let me do that. It says, "Let's celebrate you." And let me tell you I'm using the Itty Bitty Birthday stamp set for my sentiments. So I have the happy birthday. There's also a birthday wishes and a happy day. And I'm using the "Let's celebrate you." Figured it would be a nice small sentiment since I've got this big tree here. So let's just make sure that it's the right way. Okay, and I'll do it kind of up here so that you can write the 2 and write whatever you want down there. So let's put that aside, close this up, and I'll just put some banners on this, banner ends. So I use the triple banner punch. If you watch me, you'll see I use this all the time. I love it. So I just feed my piece in and pop it off. And this is the back of the punch, so you have a lock and it keeps it tight and closed for storage, and then you just open it. And let me just snip the edge here. And then I can put this end in. And you kind of do a judgment of how deep you want it, how far in. So we've got that done now. We can put our card together. So let me put this on the inside first. I'll just put a little bit of my liquid glue, just some dots. Oh, I just got glue on that. And we could put this down. Just center it. I love that tree. It's very pretty. And then we want to put our piece of designer series paper down. So I'll just put a little glue on this as well. So if you go over to my online store, you'll see the designer series papers that are on sale. They're on sale a select number. This is one of them for the month of October, and you save 15%. So it's really a good deal. It's a good way to stock up. And there are some Christmas, like this is a Christmas paper in the newer mini catalog, and that's on sale, so that's pretty cool. So let's see. See, you could put this here if you wanted, but I wanted to take up more space on the card. So let me get some dimensionals here. I'm running out of dimensionals. That is for sure. I'll have to get some more. I know I have packs hidden away somewhere, but we'll use this. We'll use it all up. Let me just cut up some of these. See how we want to work them. And we'll put one here. It's not very pretty back here, but it doesn't matter. Nobody will see it. Just take all the backs off. Got that one. Okay. Isn't that a pretty scene? I think this would be great for a guy's birthday, especially a hunter. Although they probably wouldn't have the deer hanging out in front of their house, right? So let's just cut this whole strip and put it down. It's nice to have these outside edges to, you know, for when you have a label like this, because you can just cut a strip and not have to deal with individual pieces. So let's put this right here. Okay, so we have both cards done. Very easy. Lots of fun stamping and making a scene. So with this stamp set, you really can do the mountains. You can do water, snow. You've got a little snowman. You could put snow on the trees. And then you've got the evergreen trees with a hill. You've got a birds. It's nice. I think I have one from last year. It's a snow scene. And I made these into cardinals. So I stamped them in red. And I love a cardinal in the snow. I think that's just a beautiful thing to look at. So anyway, thanks so much for joining, and I hope you watch my next video. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. All right, take care. Bye.